Well, you guys, today we'll take a look at how to set up your own private cloud. This is going to be a complete NAS guide for beginners. I've got a Minisforum N5 Air and we're going to be setting this up completely. So let's get everything out of the box and take a look at what we're going to be doing to set this up. So inside here, you're going to get the NAS itself. You're going to get your front panel here, which is in this plastic. Also, you got the user manual and your power adapter right here to power the actual device. And again, on the other end of it, it's going to have a kettle cable and also a barrel jack right here, which is going to power the actual network attached storage. Here's your kettle cable. You can pick them up anywhere on the internet. We've also got Ethernet cable here, some screws and a HDMI cable there as well. So let's now take a look at the network attached storage quickly. So this is a network attached storage device. It's got 5 bays on here. Here's your magnetic front panel on here. Just need to remove that plastic part there. But basically that sticks on the front like so. So what we're going to do here is we're going to populate this with a couple of drives just to power it on and show you how to set it up. So whether you're using the 5 drives or 4 or 3 or whatever it may be that you're putting in there to start off with, we're just going to be starting off with 2. Now when you remove these, you can see they're plastic caddies here. These take 3.5 inch and 2.5 inch drives. It is a toolless design, so you can just pop in your drive without any sort of screwdriver. People call these all different things, caddies, sleds, whatever it is you want to call them. They're all different types of names, but they all mean the same thing. So just pull these little toolless design catches off here and then just populate it with one of your drives. And make sure the back part is at the bottom, and then we've got the connector facing outward. This is going to push into the actual board and connect so we can get a good connection. Now we need to lock it into place with these little plastic clips. So let's just clip these in, and they only go in one way, and just clip them into position like so. And they should hear them snap into position. Let's do the other side here. And you just need to do this to all of the drives that you've purchased. So let's go ahead and slot that back in and I'll show you how to do it. Now I've got this in the wrong place here, so I'll just quickly switch all those around so you can see exactly where they go in. There we go. So basically they're going to go in the first 1 and 2 slots here. Now when you're pushing these in, make sure you're pushing the actual bottom part here to make sure it clicks into place, and then click it down into position. Just now slide the other one in right here. Like I said, I'm only going to be using 2 drives right here. You can use as many as you like. Click that into place and then lock it into position like so. So that's how you can insert your drives. All you need to do now is just take a look at the front panel to see what sort of buttons we've got. So we've got a power button right here. We've also got a status LED light, and you've got your 2 LAN lights here, and then all of your disk LED lights here for all the disk populated in that system. We've got a USB 4 and also a USB type A port. So you can use these to populate some external drives and things like that. So let's take a look at the rear. So on the right hand side, we've got a DC in. We also have USB 2.0. We have a 10 gigabit Ethernet LAN port, and next to that we have a 5 gigabit Ethernet LAN port. We have a USB 3.2 Gen 2 port right there as well, and a HDMI 2.0 port, and an Oculink right below that as well. And next to that we have a reset hole, and then we have an anti-theft lock hole, and then we have another USB 4. This is a decent amount of ports for a network attached storage. You could use this as a computer as well with that Oculink as well. That means you can have an external GPU on this if you wanted to, and you could literally use this as a desktop computer because it has a Ryzen 7 255 processor. That's 8 cores, 16 threads, frequency is 3.8, maximum turbo speed of 4.9 gigahertz. Now you can see we do have some screws here, so you're going to need to undo these 2 screws, and once you've undone those, this will gain access to the tray that can pull out. This has got the motherboard in there, so let me just flip it back over, and this is for people that might have bought a bare bones system that need to add in some memory or need to add in some drives and things like that. So all we need to do now we've removed those screws is pull the bottom tray out, and you'll see how easy this is. I really do love this design from Minisforum. So we're going to go ahead and just quickly pull the bottom tray here like so. And there we go. That's now out. And once we get this out, we'll take a look inside here so you can see. So we've got another cooling fan here for all of the drives and things. We also had 2 at the rear for the actual unit. And here is your memory right here. So it's got 2 slots on here, and the memory can take up to quite a bit. It's got DDR5 SODIMM memory, 2 non-EEC memory sticks will be in here. 5600 MTS is the actual speed of these. And again, up to a maximum 96 gigabytes. So if you want to populate both of these, you can do. Again, they also have a slot on here as well, which is a PCI Express ×16 slot there as well. So you can remove that fan to gain access to the bottom. We also have right there, as you can see, we do have another USB port inside. There's a USB 3.2 Gen 2. And we also have some access to some drives there, but I just need to remove this fan to show you. It's just 3 screws here, and it should just pull off so you can gain access to the M.2 drive bays. And this will give you access to these where you can populate these with the drives that you want to do. You should see it also a small little drive there, which is for the operating system on here. This means that you can reinstall different types of operating systems on here. And there is the 2 M.2 slots right there, as you can see. Now, slot 1 supports 2230 and 2280, and it also supports up to 8 terabytes, and it's PCI Express 4.0 times 1. And slot 2 is 2280 support, which also supports up to 8 terabytes, and that's PCI Express 4.0 times 1 as well. Slot 3 will support up to 8 terabytes, PCI Express 4.0 times 2, and then there is an internal 64 gig installed on an SSD slot 1, and that is for your optional SKU SSD capacity. Now, when you push this back in, just make sure you're pushing it right in so it's fully seated and they're lined up nice and smooth like so, and that should lock that into position. And then put the screws back in. Now, all you need to do now is put in the power adapter, the Ethernet cables, and also your HDMI cable so you can get display onto the monitor so we can set it up. Now, if you're wondering how much storage you can have on this particular device, it's 174 terabytes. That's 5 hard drive bays, supports up to 5 30 terabyte SATA hard drives. That's a total capacity of 150, plus your SSD slots. That's 3 M.2 slots, and they support up to 3 8 terabytes each. That's a total capacity of 24 terabytes, gives you 174. So I've got the HDMI cable plugged in, I've got the Ethernet cable plugged in, and I've also got the power cable plugged in. Let's power it on for the first time. You're going to hear a beep, and then you're going to see a bunch of lights flickering on the actual unit itself. It does take a bit of time to settle. Let me just dim that light so you can see the hard drive lights starting to populate. Once they do, you can then see that the device is online, and then we can go ahead and set that up. So you can see now the hard drive lights have now populated. And if you're looking at your TV screen or monitor, you should see something like this: Minisforum System Online, and you can see the IP address up on the top right hand side. We can now head back over to our system on our computer and set this up. Or you can do it on the phone app if you want to, but we're going to set it up with our computer. And they've got a full guide on how to set this up on their website. You can follow through here, open up the QR code, and it's also on a pamphlet inside the box, which will allow you to open up the app on your phone if you want to set it up there. But we're going to be setting this up on the computer itself, and we can then set it up so we've got it all ready. So you can see power on and start, and it says a bunch of different stuff here. It shows you where the power cords go and all things like that. So it's very, very simple and easy to set up. Now, because we're setting this up on a PC, we're going to head over to Minisforum's website, and you can see I've selected the brand on the support page, and you can come down and you can read all the information about your network attached storage device. You can see Extreme 8-core processor, which we mentioned earlier. You've also got your support up to DDR5 96 gigabytes, ultimate industrial design. It also has MinisCloud OS, but this can be changed for any other operating system you want to run on this. I'll even run Windows 11 on here as well. We also have a native PCI Express X16 slot on there, which I showed you earlier on. It supports all your different RAID setup, whether you want RAID 0, RAID 1, RAID 5, RAID 6, and all that sort of stuff. You can set all that up. I'll show you that a little bit later on during the setup phase. But you can see it is pretty powerful, and you could literally use the Oculink GPU on here as well if you're using it as a PC. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to Other here and then look for our device, and it's this one right here, N5 Air. And when you highlight over the drivers and downloads, this will give you access to all of the stuff you need. We need the MinisCloud for Windows, and we're going to download the application. It's the app that we need to be able to set up this device on our desktop. But if you're using it on your phone, you just scan the QR code. So let's go ahead and download this one right here and get this installed on the PC. Once we double click on it, the app should open up when it's downloaded, and we can go ahead and click on more info right here and click run anyway. And we can now pull the back window down a little bit so we can see this clearly and install for all users. And that's recommended. So let's go ahead and do that. Click your language and accept their terms and just go through the prompts here and go ahead and do which you want on your system. And this will then install the software, which is then going to detect our network attached storage device on our local network. So you can see right here, we're going to open up the application for the first time, and you should see no devices detected. Let's go ahead and click next. And there we go. It's detected our device. We can now click on this, and this will then give us a prompt here to initialize our new device. Let's go ahead and do that here. And you can see the device is online. That's important. You can migrate data to this device if you've used a Minisforum NAS before. From here, we're going to put in our registered administrator information. And if you want to skip this secure email part, you can do and set this up at a later stage. All you need to do here is click on the secure email and change this to fill in later if you want to skip that part. So let's go ahead and click select, and we can now click register, and you should see success. We've now set up an account. Click OK. Now to initiate the device, we need to set up our software language, our operating system software language, and our time zone and where we are. So we're in Europe right here. So I'm going to go ahead and put that check mark here. But if you're in somewhere else, you just use one of the other options. Service zone, that will be Europe. And we also have our time zone, which will be GMT or something like that. We can see here Greenwich. I can see there's a bunch of different options down near the bottom. So you can see there's quite a few of them depending where you are in the world. So I'm just going to do GMT right here, or GB, whatever it is you want to set yours up for. Let's go ahead and do that one right here. And that's now set. So now we can click the next step right here, and it will move on to the next step. It's going to reboot the system. It's going to do this a few times, so be patient and let it reboot, because it needs to, put those settings in that we've had here. Now we can create our pool, our system pool for our drive. So let's go ahead and do that and keep it on simple mode. And we're going to go ahead and click on next step. If you want to do advanced mode, that's up to you. Now this is a common problem I see. This is normally due to either the drives are not formatted because you're using used drives, or the operating system or firmware might need to be updated. So let me go ahead and I'm going to quickly format these drives or change them out for some new drives that I have that aren't in use, because this happens with quite a few different network attached storage devices. I use these all the time on tutorials, so it might not like that. Now there is an operating system upgrade, and it's important that you do this because that also can fix a lot of issues as well. So we're going to go ahead and download this update. It might take a bit of time, and now we can install the update on that system. So you can't use it while we're doing this. It's important that you keep everything fully updated, and there might be fixes and patches that they've added to this particular update. So it's important that you put these on right away, especially if you purchased your network attached storage device some time ago. It may be sitting on the shelf somewhere and it may be outdated, just like this one. So we're going to go ahead and now select our pool and create it. I'm going to go ahead again and select simple mode, and we should now see our drives. There we go. And we've now got our drives visible on the screen. So now we can choose what sort of RAID we want to use here. So you can see, because we've only got 2 drives installed on here, it wants to use mirror device. And what this is a 50% utilization. Basically, this supports if any one disk fails, no data will be lost because we'll have a redundancy. And that's how we want to set this up. Now, if you've got obviously multiple drives in here, you can choose one of the options. It will automatically select one of the best ones there for you. And there's other RAIDs available, and it tells you how to create other RAID modes available there. And you can see storage pool encryption, and we also have the other option already check marked. So you can just go ahead and move on. I'm going to leave this as is because we've only got 2 drives here. So I'm going to go to the next step, and now it wants to put in our password. So we need to put in the password we created for our account to be able to continue. Let me go ahead and type this out real quick, and then we can click OK. Now, setting up this particular network attached storage is quite easy. There's a lot more security stuff on Synology network attached storage devices, and I'll make a video on one of those. If you want to see it, let me know in the comments section down below. I did make one some time ago, but if you want to see an updated version, let me know in the comments section. I can also do one on QNAP as well, or I can also do one on TerraMaster if you want to see those. I've got all of those network attached storage devices to make videos on. So let's go ahead and now get to the desktop for the first time, and now you can see we are fully up and running. Now, don't forget that this particular operating system is quite new, and some people don't like it. I've seen reviews online where people are not liking this particular operating system. You can use different types of operating systems on here. There's quite a few to choose from, but we're just leaving it with the stock one right here. So you can see our system pool is nicely created right here, and all we need to do here is go to our hard disks, and you can see our hard disks. We can read the smart on these hard disks to see what the health is like, and you can see it's all healthy. This is where you can check the health of your drives, and again you can also do a deep self-check or a quick self-check as well to make sure the drives are running properly. But you can check right in here the temperatures and stuff, and they're all green and healthy. So that's where you can check your drives. There's also external storage on here as well. So if you need external storage, you can set up external storage right here by clicking on this, and you can then set up some external storage. We're just leaving that as is. Let's come out of here. And now what we can do is go into settings. Inside your settings panel, this is where you're going to see your account. And if you need to add some more information, security information, you can do. You can click on the edit button, and you can add in your phone number and things like that inside here, like your secure email and so on. Just click edit and add all this information in here and submit it. And this will be for your security. So you can do that anytime you feel like right there. Let's go ahead and go down to the passwords. You can see edit passwords, change your private space password, and also destroy an account. So if you've created an account that you want to remove, you can remove it right there. And there is the logged device right here that I've logged into. So let's have a look what else we have here. We've got a bunch of different stuff coming down here. So these are your admin settings right here. You've got your permission manager, your group space management, and user management right here as well. And you can do whatever you like here and add more stuff in. I'm pretty sure you're going to want to customize all this stuff yourself. But this is where you'd find all that sort of stuff inside this location. Now, each network attached storage device is slightly different, so bear that in mind. But again, this is for the Minisforum network attached storage. Here's where you can change your wallpaper, and then you've got your power here. So if you want to change your power plan, you can do, and you've got your power schedule right here. If you want to change that, you can do. And we've also got our network. This is all our network. You can see we're only using one Ethernet port on here. We're using two. That would populate right there, but you can see we've only got one turned on right now. And we've got the network firewall on, and this is all your ports right listed right here. And again, we've got Docker and also system and custom as well on there as well. I'll quickly show you Docker in a second. We've got our region right here. This is the language and region in time, so you can change all that. If you missed it at that sort of setup point, you can change it all here. And there's your system. You can check for system upgrades, advanced settings, and this will erase the device. So if you want to reset the whole device, you can do it right there. And then we've also got our cache, our client cache right here as well. And we've also got our feedback here on there as well. So that is basically all your settings. Pretty straightforward stuff with this particular operating system. There's not much to it. And again, inside your LAN sharing right here, this is where you've got your main account, and you can make adjustments right here. There is your Min protocol version right here. We've got NT1, but you've got SMB2 and SMB3, and then you've got FTP as well, and your NFS and your DLNA as well. That's turned off by default, but if you want to customize that, you can do and turn that on. It's entirely up to you. It's your network attached storage device. You can set it up how you like, and then you've got your WebDAV there as well. So that's those settings right there. And again, you can use Docker here, and you've got remote access as well. And this is your remote access. If you want to customize this, you can do. And you can see it's customized already to P2P. And again, you can change this to exactly how you want to set yours up for your needs. Everyone's going to have different needs on what they want. But right out of the box right here, that's how it's set by default. And of course, now you're at the desktop, you've got Docker there. You've also got your backups. You've also got your file manager. And you've got also your music, movies, and all your other good stuff that you can set up on there. Anyway, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button. My name has been Brian from briteccomputers.co.uk. Just want to say a quick shout out to all my YouTube members who join my YouTube members group. I really do appreciate the support, and I shall catch you in the next video. Bye for now.